All right, so as you guys know, a couple of hours ago, the brand new update for Fisch went ahead and released with not really the most amount of content. It was just sort of a mini update as we prepare for next week's Fisch Fright. Now, I'll be completely honest, really the most important thing that was added for this update is the brand new max level, which is officially level 1,500. With that brings a total of, I believe, 5 rewards, which we're going to go over every single one of them in today's video. And of course, the second biggest thing being the brand new crab event. I'm going to give you guys all of the full details on that in just a second, as well as show you the crab. But right off the start, I really want to get out of the way all of the leveling stuff, just so that way you have a general idea of what you're getting into as you make your way over to level 1,500. Now, I'll go ahead and get this out of the way before a lot of you start asking questions in the comment section, but all of the XP that you did earn, unfortunately, did not roll over. So everybody did start off at the same exact point, being level 1,000. Of course, if you had backed up XP inside of your aquarium, then in theory, you could go ahead and claim all of that and make your way instantly to 1,500. Some people have already gone ahead and done this, but overall, everybody is starting off at level 1,000. Now, the first reward that you're going to receive is going to be at level 1,100. It'll be the elite glider that gets added into your inventory as soon as you hit level 1,100. Unfortunately, at the current moment, even if you have it on your hotbar, it doesn't matter if you double jump, it won't spawn in. You will have to unfortunately hit the hotkey, but basically, it is a way faster version and a cooler looking version than the advanced glider. It's basically red, which is obviously the best color, and it has sort of like these little squares around it. It even has kind of like a particle effect where it sort of like looks like lightning kind of, but it's red and black. It's super sick. And of course, this mixed in with the Glimmerfin boots is just insanely ridiculously fast. So again, that'll be the first reward that you receive at level 1,100. The next one that you're going to receive is the chromatic bobber at level 1,200. As you can see right over here, go ahead and cast it out. It's sort of like a little RGB circle. Nothing really interesting about this. There is no sort of like sound effect to my knowledge. Nothing crazy at all. Just the fact that it's sort of an RGB bobber. That's about it. A little bit on the underwhelming side, but what are you going to do about it? Next up, we've got level 1,300, and that is the chromatic lantern. This one is actually really cool looking. If you notice, I have it right over here on the side. Has a really sick particle effect. Sort of looks good in combination, obviously, with the chromatic bobber. And again, it does have RGB. Very bright on this one. Arguably, I think it is the brightest lantern in the entire game now, even beating the fairy. It's just that obviously the fairy has a completely different placement, being your left shoulder, so it sort of illuminates a little bit higher up rather than lower down on the ground. But yeah, overall, really cool looking, and that is again at level 1,300. Now, at 1,400, you are going to be receiving the chromatic Titan boat. 145 speed, 50 steering with 1S acceleration. So let's go ahead and spawn this. It's basically a RGB barrel. But if we go ahead and drive around with this, it is actually insanely fast and really silent. I don't know why I'm pointing that out, but it's just like awkwardly silent. But yeah, this thing is pretty quick. Obviously, not the fastest boat in the game, but it does look really cool that it is RGB. It's something more that you would probably just pull out for flexing purposes and not really to use on a regular basis. And now we've made it to level 1,500. That is the cinder block rod. It says seems a little heavy. Stats on this is negative 50% lure speed, 100% luck, 0.7 control with 1,000% resilience. And I think it's like 100 million max kg or something like that. Borderline may as well be infinite. Now, ironically, this is not RGB, which is kind of heartbreaking, if I'll be honest. Hopefully they add some type of skin to this that gives it RGB, so it sort of has like this whole set look of chromatic stuff. But as you would imagine, this rod is really not all that great. Lure speed is obviously incredibly bad on this. I don't think that not even any enchant will help this. But as you would imagine, once you do end up hooking a fish, it's basically a nothing rod. Like, you don't have to do anything. But it's also incredibly slow. So it's kind of a pretty bad rod, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mentioned this during my live stream, and the chances are is that we're probably going to see some type of change to this during the week. At least that's kind of what I hope so, because right now it's not really in a good state, honestly. To hit level 1500 and end up with this is kind of heartbreaking. Keep in mind, right, this is the first time that I'm using this rod, and this is really not a good first impression, honestly. And just like that, 7 days later, I have officially caught that fish. So as you can see, man, it's kind of hopeful that it is going to get some type of a buff, or at least, dude, I don't even know how you could recover this. As crazy as it is to say, I'm probably the most excited about getting all the chromatic stuff than I am about getting the final rod. But at the same time, I also do understand that they've had all of the issues basically with the ASHCLAW rod, the Seraphic, the no life rod, where these rods are kind of insanely OP. And it was honestly to a point where they were pretty much forced to nerf a lot of these rods. If you were around when the Seraphic rod first released, it was kind of like no rod could release without Seraphic rods still being the meta. So yeah, I guess they're just trying not to have another repeat of those moments, but I don't know, man. This one is just not it. Let me know in the comment section what you would like to see change to this rod to honestly make it any better, or I don't even, dude, we're going to move on from this. Now, as I mentioned before, the second thing that was added for this update is the crab, also known as the ASHCLAW. If you were in my live stream, you know that we basically didn't get this to spawn, even though it technically did spawn in my server. I just didn't see it in time, basically. But the way it works is very, very simple. You make your way over here to Roslet, head inside of the volcano, and this is basically where the ASHCLAW is going to spawn. Now, as you can see from this screenshot right here, I did go ahead and ask specifically to Nick how you get this to spawn the legitimate way, mainly because I know that a lot of people are going to be out here talking about, oh, you spawned it with Sundial, oh, you spawned it this way, oh, you spawned it the other way. I wanted to get concrete, factual words from the developer themselves on how this spawns. Nick said it is a natural event and it doesn't require anything for it to spawn. It has a small chance of occurring and it increases for each player fishing inside of the volcano. The catch is that a lot of you are probably catching a lot of it today because it has been massively boosted for just today. So if you want to go ahead and round up all your friends and start fishing inside a volcano, by all means, go ahead and do so. As a matter of fact, as you can see right there, I got the notification saying that the Roslet volcano has erupted. Dude, this is like perfect timing. Oh my God. And there it is right there. Dude, literally perfect timing. He is just chilling. Again, the way that this works is very, very simple. You'll know when it spawns because you will get a notification at the top of your screen that says the Roslet volcano has erupted. As soon as that happens, you make your way over here and you literally can't miss it. He's standing right there. And then you'll really know when you caught him because it is a negative 95% to catch. And as a matter of fact, there it is right there. It also makes a crazy sound effect. But yeah, it's basically like catching a Scylla, in other words. Low-key, I kind of wish I would have been using my ASHCLAW rod for this. It would have been so much easier and faster, but should be fine. We'll catch this really quickly. There we go. And at the top, it says you captured the ASHCLAW, and that basically announces for everybody. And here it is right here. It's actually a really, really cool looking fish, mainly because it does have that sort of particle effect at the top. But yeah, man, that was convenient because it was literally perfect timing. Believe it or not, even with my admin commands, I cannot give myself any cataclysmic fish. It just literally doesn't allow it. Only developers can. I also literally have no setting to basically spawn it in. So I just got insanely lucky, I guess. I don't know, dude. Now, there is one other thing that I want to show you guys, but before I do, I want to make a couple of things clear. For starters, I don't believe that this is obtainable anymore, mainly because this was a reward that was given out by Nick during the admin abuse time. If you were able to join his game, he gave this out to certain people. But as you can see right here, this is the Stone Hammer. It is, again, a rod that was only handed out by Nick if you were able to join him during the admin abuse time. They'll more than likely do this maybe next week for Fish Fright. Maybe it'll be a completely different rod, since I know that he was giving out, like, for example, last week, it was the parts rod, and then this week it was a Stone Hammer. So maybe it changes every single week. But either way, lure speed on this is 100%, luck is 100%, control 0.5, resilience 0 with an infinite max kg. It is just literally a hammer. There is no special thing that happens over here. Nothing, really, honestly. It's like a normal rod just shaped as a hammer. When it does end up catching something, it makes sort of like a hammer hitting an anvil sort of noise, but that's literally about it. And of course, the incredibly ridiculous control that it has. But yeah, this was a pretty cool one. If you were able to get your hands on it, congratulations to you guys. It's probably very, very rare and limited. But yeah, for the most part, that is everything for this update. There was like a couple of other cataclysmic fish that were added into the ocean, and those work the exact same way as the ASHCLAW. You just basically fish in the ocean. The more people that are fishing in the ocean, the higher probability of them to spawn. that's pretty much it. Here's actually what those look like and what their preferred bait is. So we have this one right here that I'm literally not even going to try to pronounce because I know that I will 100% mess up the name. Preferred bait is meteor or stag beetle. We got this one again, which I am not going to try to pronounce. Preferred bait for this one is meteor and stag beetle as well. And then the Luska, which is once again meteor and stag beetle. I, for some reason, cannot find the ASHCLAW inside of my bestiary anywhere, but I do know that the preferred bait for that is coal. So in case you're curious, there you go. But yeah, man, overall, that's going to do it for this video. A little bit of a shorter one, and honestly, not really too jam-packed with a lot of information. It's just kind of like going over things in case you missed it while it was going live. Not really the most complicated update. As always, if you want to go ahead and see more of these full guide videos, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video. I'll see you guys this weekend coming up for the huge Fish Fright 2025 update. We'll be live, we'll be covering videos every day. It's going to be crazy. I'm excited for it. It is being said that it is the best update that Fish has ever had. So those are some really big shoes to fill. We'll see how this goes, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.